At the same time, getting organized sooner rather than later enables more effective tax planning when we're looking out into the year ahead. That's because with a clear and comprehensive view of your financial situation, you can better identify strategies for minimizing your tax liability. Making a generational impact starts with one person, one family, one community. And so the Gen 1 legacy is my attempt to help first-gen tech professionals like you get your financial house in order so you can live your legacy. Tax season is now well underway, and most returns are due by April 15. Are you ready? Well, if you struggle with getting your returns filed or you simply don't know where to start, then we've got you covered with this year's tax return. That's because the secret to a stress-free tax season involves staying organized before you sit down to prepare your returns, and by starting sooner rather than later. Indeed, when you avoid the last-minute scramble to hunt down all of your necessary tax documents and then ensure that you have enough time to carefully complete your return, you not only avoid racing against the clock and making mistakes along the way, but what you're doing is ensuring that you're filing a more accurate return that can help you avoid running afoul of the auditors later down the road. That's why, while it seems like the tax deadline is still weeks away, you can still nevertheless get started preparing your returns by assessing life changes over the past year, gathering all your necessary documents in a centralized location, and determining the ideal way to file your returns this year. Taking this approach will not only ensure that your taxes get filed on time, it'll also give you peace of mind knowing that you've left no stone unturned when it comes to potential tax opportunities in the year ahead. All right, so one of the first things that you'll want to do to prepare this tax season is to evaluate what's changed in your life over the past year. Now, these changes can range from personal milestones to professional transitions and either benefit or hinder your financial situation, which underscores the importance of being proactive with your data gathering this year. Indeed, the fact is that life events like getting married or divorced, the birth of a child, or even the loss in your family can dramatically alter your tax obligations. How so? Well, to start, if you've experienced changes in your family over the past year, like getting married or divorced or having a kid, then these changes can significantly influence your tax situation. For example, getting married may allow you to file jointly, potentially leading to tax benefits you didn't have when you were single, while a divorce, on the other hand, could alter your filing status and subsequent tax liabilities. At the same time, the addition of a child to your household not only brings joy, but it also brings benefits like the child tax credit, which can reduce your overall tax bill and in some cases result in a refund. Now, on the professional front, a promotion or significant salary increase might shift you into a higher tax bracket and require a more nuanced tax planning approach. And if you started, bought, or sold a business in the last year, then these actions could come with their own set of unique tax implications. At the same time, any changes in your investment portfolio, including the sale or purchase of stocks, of real estate transactions, or receiving dividends and interest, will affect your capital gains tax. The truth is that there are a lot of things to think about, and indeed for you tech workers out there, if you received any form of equity compensation, such as stock options or restricted stock units, then these form of compensation also require special attention because the timing of when you exercise those options or when you choose to sell those vested stocks can significantly impact your overall tax liabilities. And finally, if you're planning for retirement or have made significant rollovers or Roth conversions, then these actions can impact your current and future tax situations depending on when and how much you've contributed. So you'll want to pay extra careful attention to these changes as you're filing your returns. So then the big question here is, what can you do to ensure that you've accounted for all these changes in the past year? Well, you can start with the basics and consider any significant events that we just mentioned, or consider any changes in employment, whether you bought or sold any property, whether you got married, divorced, or you had a kid. Here again, these events can have notable tax implications, so then whatever key event that just happened, no matter how big or small, you'll want to document it and make sure that you've noted it for tax purposes just in case. Now, if you're working with a tax professional, they'll likely provide you with what's called a tax organizer so you can get a handle on all of these changes. And so what is a tax organizer? Well, a tax organizer is a comprehensive tool that helps you gather and organize, you guessed it, tax documents and other pertinent information required to prepare your return. Now, this tool is often useful because it includes sections where you can record different types of incomes or deductions, credits, and any life changes that may affect your overall tax situation. So then by completely filling out a tax organizer, what you're doing is you're providing your tax professional with a clear and concise overview of what happened with your money over the past year. And this detailed compilation of information can help you and your preparer identify all possible deductions and credits and ensure that your tax return is both accurate and optimized for your financial situation. Now, this is just a small example of the potential life changes that can impact your overall tax situation and what you could do to keep track of all of it. Either way, the big takeaway here is that your tax situation is not static because it evolves with your life and changes over time. So then just because you filed a certain way last year doesn't necessarily mean you'll use that same approach in the year ahead. That's why staying informed, seeking professional advice, and planning ahead are key to ensuring that these life changes work to your benefit rather than becoming unforeseen challenges as you prepare this year's returns. All right, so once you have a handle on all of the changes that have taken place this year, the next thing that you'll want to do is stay on top of all the tax documents that are likely now pouring in. Indeed, staying organized and keeping track of all your tax documents early in the filing season is especially crucial when the stakes are high and when your financial situation is complex. How so? Well, depending on the complexity of your financial situation, which could include multiple income streams, investments, and maybe even varying business interests, having all of your documents in order early on in the tax season ensures that no detail goes overlooked. Indeed, taking this meticulous approach is crucial to avoiding errors that could lead to audits or missed opportunities for tax savings. At the same time, getting organized sooner rather than later enables more effective tax planning when we're looking out into the year ahead. That's because with a clear and comprehensive view of your financial situation, you can better identify strategies for minimizing your tax liability. And how does this work? Well, such strategies may include the timing of sales of investments to manage capital gains, making the most of deductions and credits, or simply optimizing charitable contributions for the coming year. So then even a little bit of early preparation can give you the time to consider effective tax strategies and implement them effectively. Remember, time is often a scarce resource. So then by organizing your tax documents early, you can reduce that last minute rush to meet all the filing deadlines, which frees up valuable time for you to focus on your personal and your professional life. This efficiency not only lessens the stress that comes with filing taxes, but also ensures that your tax filing season does not become a disruptive one for you or your family. And so what are some of the ways to keep yourself organized in the weeks ahead as you prepare to file your returns? Well, to start, consider identifying and using a secure document vault. Now, a document vault is typically an online platform where you can safely store and access all your important tax information. Now, this approach not only offers a high level of security to protect your sensitive information, but also provides the convenience of having all of your documents in one place, and it's accessible from anywhere you might be, whether that's at home, in the office, or running around. Now, this approach is especially helpful when it integrates with your wealth advisor or your accountant systems because it further enhances efficiency and collaboration in your tax preparation and planning process. Now, once your digital vault is established, the next thing that you'll want to do is to start digitally cataloging all your paper tax documents. And why is this important? Well, it's important because you might find yourself in a situation where you have a mix of digital and paper records and you're not sure what the best approach would be to keep track of it all. So what do? Well, the fact is that most tax professionals are moving towards a simplified digital format for document and filing. And so by taking a similar approach, what you could do is stay in line with the trends and help yourself and your preparer be more efficient. And to this end, the simplest thing you could do is to use a scanning app on your smartphone to convert paper receipts, tax forms, and other documents into digital files. Then what you want to do is categorize these files in your secure document vault using a consistent naming convention that can allow for easy retrieval when you're ready to file your returns. And finally, as you're going through this process, try to develop a practice for setting regular intervals where you're reviewing and you're updating your tax documents and uploading them up to the digital vault. Now, this can include a monthly or quarterly review, and doing so not only ensures that everything is up to date, but also helps you stay familiar with your current financial situation and makes it easier to identify potential tax savings opportunities as you approach the year's tax filing deadline. All right, so we've talked about evaluating life changes and staying organized by using a digital vault. The last thing that we'll need to cover here is knowing when to hire someone and knowing when to do it on your own when it comes to filing your returns. Now, if you've been comfortable filing your tax returns for years, then the decision to continue this practice or to fork out some extra money and hire a tax professional carries both advantages and disadvantages. On the one hand, managing your own tax filings has the likely benefit of giving you a strong sense of control and deep understanding of your current financial situation. That's because this hands-on approach can empower you and offer you direct insight into the nuances of your current tax situation and help you better understand where the money's coming in and where it's going out. Now, while doing your own taxes can save you some money, as your wealth and financial situation becomes a little more complex, there are some limitations to the approach, which can become even more apparent over time and even work against you. That's because the intricacies of tax laws, especially for high-earning individuals with diverse income streams, investments, and potential business interests, can be extremely daunting. And so the risk of overlooking a key deduction or making errors with your returns can increase over time, and these mistakes can be costly both in terms of potential penalties and missed opportunities for tax savings. That's why hiring a professional like an enrolled agent, a CPA, or a tax attorney brings with it its own set of advantages. How so? Well, in many cases, a tax professional can offer a unique expertise and perspective in a given practice area, like knowing how to work with tech professionals who receive equity compensation because they're staying up to date on what's going on in the industry, on changes in tax laws, and they adjust their approach to ensure your tax filings are not just compliant, but optimized for your unique tax situation. At the same time, delegating this responsibility to a professional can free up your time and allow you to focus on your professional and personal life. Now, given your busy schedule and the value you place on your family and your personal pursuits, this in and of itself can be a significant benefit to your overall situation. Now, the downside, of course, to hiring a professional is the cost that's involved. Professional tax services, especially those equipped to handle complex situations like knowing about equity comp or business filings, come at a price. Even so, the value you receive from these professionals can often come from the tangible dollars and taxes saved to the intangible value of knowing that you have somebody in your corner and who has your back in case the IRS success comes knocking. So then if you're interested in hiring a tax professional, where exactly should you start? Well, the first thing that you'll likely want to do is start by assessing the complexity of your financial situation. You can do this by reviewing your current financial situation and any of the changes that have come through throughout the course of the year. Now, if you find that the complexity of your household has increased significantly over the years as a result of personal, professional life changes, and now you find yourself spending an inordinate amount of time on navigating all these complexities, then that in and of itself may be an indicator that professional help could be something worth looking into. Now, another thing to consider here is the value of your time. That's because as a high-earning individual with a busy lifestyle, you likely know that your time is money. That's why one of the things you can do to evaluate the cost benefit of hiring a professional is to calculate the time you actually spend on tax preparation and consider if this time could be better spent on your personal development or time with your family. Finally, think about your long-term financial goals and how bringing in a tax professional could help you maximize these outcomes. Either way, your decision to hire a professional should be based on a comprehensive understanding of your current financial situation, changes in your life, understanding of tax laws, and past tax filing experiences. And if after some reflection you find that the scales are tipping towards needing professional help, then it would likely be a good idea to seek out a trusted tax advisor who can help provide expertise and guidance that you need. You know, when it comes down to it, tax season can feel overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Indeed, as we stand at the threshold of another tax season, with the April 15 deadline just not too far off in the future, being proactive now can make the difference between a stressful and stress-free tax return season. Indeed, by assessing your life changes over the past year and organizing your documents early, you'll likely feel more confident and less overwhelmed. And by avoiding that last-minute rush to gather all your necessary documents, ensuring you have enough time to carefully complete your return, you're doing more than just beating the clock because you're filing a more accurate return, which is crucial for not just your peace of mind, but also staying clear of the auditor's scrutiny. So then as tax season kicks into full gear, remember that the sense of urgency you might be feeling as a deadline approaches can be mitigated with a bit of proactive planning. Indeed, by following these steps and starting your preparation now, you're not just ensuring that your taxes get filed on time, you're taking one step closer to becoming the master of your own financial independence journey. To learn more about today's topic, you can visit the episodes page at legacygen1.com. And if you can find one person in your life who would benefit from today's message, please share this episode with them. But until next time, I'm Peter Donisanu, wishing you and yours abundant health and prosperity.
The Gen 1 Legacy Podcast is brought to you by Franklin Madison Private Wealth. Franklin Madison Private Wealth is a registered investment advisor firm with its registration and principal place of business in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Registration of an investment advisor does not imply a certain level of skill or training. The information shared today is not intended to be personal, legal, investment, or tax advice, or solicitation to buy or sell any security or engage in a particular investment strategy. The commentary and forecasts are limited to the dissemination of and general information pertaining to Franklin Madison Private Wealth's investment advisory services and are based on economic and market conditions that are subject to change without notice. For additional information about Franklin Madison Private Wealth, including fees and services, please contact Franklin Madison Private Wealth or refer to the Investment Advisor Public Disclosures.